The rhythms of our lives are linked with light. The daylight time was enough to prehistoric humans to deal with their daily routine, but after obtaining fire, it became possible to prolong the light. The invention of the incandescent lamp was a breakthrough in the evolution of lighting, but in the era of austerity and environmental protection, this lighting device is no longer satisfactory. First of all, incandescent lamps are immensely ineffective, producing only 5% of light from the consumed energy. Besides, its maximum resource is around 1000 hours. Although these lamps are quite cheap, most people don't like changing them so often. Moreover, such lamps could burn out during power surges. Fluorescent lamps, which were known throughout the world since the 1980s, are compact, serve longer, save more energy and have lighter light output. They have been popular in Ukraine since early 2000s. Everything would be great, but for one significant drawback – the presence of mercury. Therefore, they cannot be just thrown out in the trash, as they pose a threat to human health and the environment. Now, lighting technology has reached new heights. LED lamps are taking over the modern world. They are more efficient, they do not harm the environment, and in addition, they offer new opportunities not only in lighting, but also in other spheres. Today, compact fluorescent lamps have energy efficiency of 70–80 lumens per watt, while LEDs 140–150. This indicates that there are tangible benefits to reduction electricity consumption. But in order to create an LED source, a full range of activities related to the development of new materials and their application, as well as new technologies and processes, must be conducted. Most developed countries have gradually transitioned to LED lighting. Ukraine has also taken some steps in that direction. In particular, from 2009 to 2015, a state scientific and technical problem was operational. Many scientists and manufacturers were involved and achieved a lot during that time. They developed a whole new class of lighting products, from indoor light bulbs to street lamps, and developed the principle of cooling, since the LED lamp itself is a crystal, though, which a strong current runs, thus making it hot. If that heat is not dissipated, the crystal deteriorates. Scientists have also developed a range of electronic devices for these light sources to be operable. It became possible to partially replace some street and public building lighting from fluorescent to LED in many cities of Ukraine thanks to the program. Advantages of LED were understood in the housing and utility sector, so almost all new buildings have LED lighting installed. Implementation of the program has shown to achieve significant savings. Our calculations show that over the past 4 years, as of January 1, 2016, the total amount of energy saved amount to about 80 million kilowatt-hours. In fact, an LED is a rather complicated contraption. Of course, it's based on a crystal, but with certain properties. Usually, those are artificially grown crystals of semiconductor materials. They are welded on a special pad and then inserted into the body with the contact LEDs. Today, only companies with high-tech equipment can grow crystals for LEDs. The remaining production cycles were successfully mastered in Ukraine based on domestic developments. Scientists had a lot of challenges to overcome, for example, how to dissipate the heat from the crystal while the current is passing through it, which electronic systems are needed to control the LED, how to get high-quality lighting, and many others, but almost all were solved. Here's number one problem for you – the system of thermal stabilization of such diodes. The Academy of Sciences of Ukraine has successfully solved it by using ceramic and plastic radiators and heat pipes in addition to iron radiators. The other problem is medical, so to speak. The thing is that the crystal itself emits blue light. Maybe you did not know, but waves of blue color suppress the melatonin hormone in the body, which is responsible for sleep. The blue color also destroys the photoreceptors and the retinal pigment layer in the eyes. Therefore, the blue LED phosphor is applied, a substance that partially absorbs the energy of blue light and then emits it into the yellow-green portion of the visible spectrum. So different color temperatures from warm to cold can be achieved. The problem of such phosphor is that it must ensure the quality of light, namely the index of color, which should be the highest value possible, up to 100 units. Because with such lighting we can see, for example, the full range of colors of any picture painted by an artist. This is why Ukrainian scientists have developed new fluorescent materials, organic and inorganic, and created an original technology of crystal installation with the application of a phosphor layer with desired spectral characteristics. Scientists also use the extensive capabilities of LED lighting to create flat LED systems. That is not the whole list of know-how, and the state program has been completed. But scientists are already looking into the future to see good prospects for development, for example, in the direction of increasing light output, because one of the world LED manufacturers has already announced that they are managed to achieve efficiency of up to 303 lumens per watt. And in the next 5 or 6 years, the spread of intelligent lighting system is predicted, which could automatically alter their spectral composition depending on the time of day. Also, Ukraine has the scientific basis for developing an entirely new technology – organic light emitting diodes. I think in 10 years we will be witnesses to walls and ceilings illuminating the room instead of lamps. We will not even know what is shining, the light will be all around. Such systems can be created with the help of organic light films of any size. They are supplied with voltage and become luminous. Today, this area is developing rapidly worldwide, and I think Ukraine will not stand still and will also gradually develop it. But those are the systems of the future. The advantages of LED lamps are obvious, but they can be provided only when the device is of high quality and its parameters match the declared ones, because we cannot recognize all the properties of an illuminator when buying it. To give Ukrainian consumers the opportunity to buy quality products, a testing laboratory was established under the state program. It is certified by the appropriate standard and has a special distinction that means that the laboratory finding can be trusted internationally. Different types of lighting systems are tested for basic characteristics here. We have already mentioned some of them. It is primarily light efficiency. So, relatively speaking, how many units of luminous flux, lumen, do we get per watt of electricity consumed? If traditional light sources, incandescent and halogen lamps have luminous efficiency of 10 to 15 lumens per watt, and fluorescent light sources in the form of fluorescent lamps with a light efficiency of 60 to 80 lumens per watt, then the modern LED light source efficiency has exceeded 100. So, 100–120 lumens per watt is a normal rate for today, and that is not the limit. In addition to efficiency, there is something else to know about the quality of light, namely the light temperature, color rendering index, and so on. These parameters are determined through special devices, the so-called integrable spheres. The kit also includes spectrum radiometers, which measure the spectral characteristics of these devices. These help to make calculations and determine these parameters. These measurements can be compared with the parameters of natural light or other artificial sources to determine whether or not they're suitable for a particular application. And again, the medical aspect. The distribution of cold and warm tones defines the scope and purpose of use of lighting, and great attention is paid to the question of how artificial light sources of different origin affect us, because the human body formed for over millions of years under sunlight and a natural day-night cycle. But for it to adjust to the artificial lighting, only a little over 200 years is needed. In fact, according to physicists and physicians, light sources of the same temperature have the same impact on us. For instance, an LED or a fluorescent lamp with a color of temperature of 3000 degrees Kelvin is the same as a cool drone. If we take daylight, which is 4000 degrees Kelvin, a fluorescent lamp at 4000 degrees and a LED source, then their impact at one color temperature will also be the same. But thanks to their technical features, LED lamps enable us to adjust the temperature of lighting in rooms. For example, add some cold in enterprises during night shifts, which would help workers overcome drowsiness. Even more important is to adhere to the color mode where children spend a lot of time. In such places, by contrast, more warm light is needed.
Редкий случай, когда возраст человеку помогает.
This is a rare case when age helps. That is, the older the person, the more the eye lenses are yellowed and clouded, which naturally filters out this blue component. This is another lighting parameter which must be heated at places with intense visual activity. Schools, kindergartens, and offices. That is the lightning pulsation coefficient. Although, how can LED light source pulsate? Since they are controlled by a transducer driver scheme, alternating current to direct current, and the output is direct current. So there are seemingly no pulsations, but again, depending on the quality of the electronic converter, there can be pulsations of 50% to 100%. We cannot see that with the naked eye. That is very important to monitor and measure that. In fact, each of us can check whether the bulb has sufficient pulsations. To do this, just bring your phone camera to it. However, laboratory tests give more accurate information. It is not the lack of technical support that prevents the active use of LED lighting. On the contrary, that is a high level in Ukraine. The real problem is the conservative mindset of consumers because LED devices, at least at this stage, are much more expensive than incandescent or compact fluorescent ones. But if you factor in energy savings, less damage to the environment, and a very long, up to 30,000 hours duration of work time, it becomes clear that the benefits are much higher, and the process of transition to LED is irreversible. Perhaps mankind will invent even better ways to get light in the future, but today the way to a brighter future is illuminated by the shining of a tiny crystal.